Was good. No, I'm playing. It was good. Was good. Welcome back to another podcast. You know what I'm saying? Another episode of the Goldblooded podcast. It's your boy KB alongside with me, my guys, Gifted Denver, episode 16. 16 episodes in. You know what I'm saying? Long off season, but we back. We back. It was a low key hiatus from us. Sorry, we weren't really consistent with the pod. Is that's on us. That's on us. On behalf of Go Blooded, we do apologize. But we back. We're back and we're better. Shout out to, you know what I'm saying? Bryson Tiller type shit. Anyways, before we get into today's episode, Gifted, how are we doing this fine night? You know what I'm saying?
We back! What's good, Chad? What's good, people on the YouTube side, man? Like, comment, subscribe, all that type business. We back for all things Warriors basketball, man. We here. If they're A seed, a 10th seed, a 1 seed, we are here for Warriors basketball, and I'm excited. We just got done watching another preseason game of Warriors hoops. We got a lot to get into, so make sure to tap in, man.
That's a fact. That's a fact, man. I love the energy right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I love the energy. Hopefully, this energy can be the same if we're on a 3-game losing streak. But anyways, Denver, what's up, bro? How you been, man? How you feeling?
It's going.
It's going for sure, man. You know, it's been a long off season. Like what you been up to, man?
Nothing much, honestly. Just waiting for things to happen so that I can actually do my job and talk about stuff. And we're finally getting that because people are actually starting to play in preseason games. So
yeah.
Now, listen, before we get into things, like I said, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe before we even start the pod. Share the video with your friends, okay? Like, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. We want this podcast to be world renowned, to be known somewhere. You feel me? Someone can be on a bus. You could be in a car. You could be in the live chat on Playback, playback.tv/Goldblooded. You feel me? Link is also in the description. You can pull up wherever you're listening to. You know what I'm saying? Just share this with your friends. That's all we ask. You feel me? If you're a fan of basketball, fan of the Warriors, make sure to share this with your friends. Like I said, follow us on Twitter. The link will also be in the description as well. But with that being said, we can get into our first preseason game. We played the Los Angeles Clippers in a very actual tight contest, some may say. So tight that it wound up winning off of just one possession. And that one possession actually being a Lindy Waters game winner in the preseason, which you could never actually describe, which is crazy. So to get into this first game, Gifted, what was your initial thoughts seeing this new squad with the Warriors, seeing a bunch of new faces? You know, we signed guys like DeAnthony Melton, Kyle Anderson, Buddy Hield, obviously Stephen, Draymond, Wiggins, Kevon Looney, those guys returning, Clay leaving. There's been a lot of different movements and different mixtures of lineups. A lot of things have been said over the summer of certain young guys like B-Pod saying he wants to take 8 to 10 more threes. Kuminga wants to be more of a self-creator and get better on that. And Moody should locked in this summer and going into the new season as well. Steve Kerr has been kind of more willing to let the younger guys try to run the show and stuff like that. So
yeah,
what in that first preseason game, what did you see? What did you like? What did you not like? Just give us your thoughts, bro. What's up?
For me, I think Kerr made it a point of emphasis for them to get up more threes. And to be honest, I'm actually in support of that because when you're lacking the talent in terms of self-creation and whatnot, if you just shoot more threes on average than a lot of other teams, and you have one of the better three-point shooters on the team in Steph Curry, Buddy Hield, that's a huge thing. But my biggest question mark was, okay, DeAnthony Melton at his best on the Sixers was a pretty good three-point shooter, but the volume wasn't too significant. Teams are still going to let him shoot. So what is his confidence level like, and what types of shots can he make? Can he make on the bounce threes? Can he make off of screen threes? And so far, we've seen him be a productive shooter for this team so far. Obviously, B-Pods has been a big point of contention where, the Warriors brass wanted him to shoot 11 threes a game. To me, that's not really real or sustainable. But I've liked the overall floor game of what I've seen from Pods so far through Summer League. The shots haven't fallen for him yet, but I still like his aggressiveness to shoot these self-creation threes. I think a lot of those opportunities are going to present themselves more on this roster. But I just like the shot diet, and we still haven't seen this team at full strength as Andrew Wiggins has not played yet. But in that first game, That was the main thing that I noticed.
That's interesting. I did notice a couple things as well for myself. Like the shooting you did point out is definitely a point of emphasis for me. But let's go to Denver. You know what I'm saying? Denver. What did you think of that first initial like game? Everything that you saw, all of us, we were witnessing like all the rumors and chatters, and not even rumors, just things that were being said during media day during the summer about other people. So getting that first initial game and seeing everyone together and on the floor, like what was your initial thoughts? What are things that like you liked, you didn't like with them on the floor?
Well, I feel like one of the first things that like that we notice and like I'm sure other people notice is that we are seeming to be creating a lot of like really good looks from three so far. In game or the first preseason game, they just weren't really falling. I think we were like what 5 for something from
We
three,
shot
5
something
for
horrible. Yeah, it was
like
pretty bad.
25. Uh, but I was under the assumption that like if you're creating like a lot of really good quality looks, they'll eventually start going down, especially when you have a lot of really good 3-point shooters on the team, including the ones that you've just added in Buddy Hield, Anthony Melton, or even just the improvements to guys that were already on the roster, like Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, Brandon Pajemski. I was never like if I never was really sold on him taking 10 threes a game. um, but taking more threes and like in media day, he definitely made that like what would be the word? Like he made the like he made it clear that he was in fact like focusing on like shooting shots that he wasn't necessarily taking last year, like when he was like looking back at like film in games, seeing where he could actually get his looks from. And we did see like one of his first shots in that game was a pull-up three off of a pick and roll. So that's something that was definitely a change from last year. Defensively, I still think that we need to hold out on like what the ceiling of this team is going to be defensively
Yeah.
while we don't have Andrew Wiggins. But overall, offensively, I think that this team definitely is trending in the right direction. The only question is going to be obviously the non-Steph scoring and non-Steph minutes, like always.
Yeah, for me, like my biggest takeaways were pretty similar to yours. I think the first game, the defense was definitely a point of emphasis. I seen like a change when I compare it to last year. Last year's defense was lackadaisical. There wasn't energy, no communication. It was just Draymond trying his best to just upkeep the shittiness that we already had in that defensive system, and he was doing the best he could, obviously, like with him at the five. But I didn't think it was feasible at the time, and nor do I think it's feasible now. But I think the intensity and more so the guys like DeAnthony Melton, obviously, as well, even Buddy Hield, like these guys were just showing effort. And that's one thing I will say that have seen from the Warriors so far defensively is that the effort is there. Now, I don't want us to be a team where it's a high motor but low IQ type of defense where, yeah, we're showing, yeah, we're switching, yeah, we're communicating, but the actual execution of defense isn't there. That first
Yeah,
game, though, I actually felt like we were actually forcing
yeah,
turnovers.
I feel like that's like that was our issue with last season. It was
Yeah,
like,
it definitely was. It
yeah,
was just like,
because the amount of times that we would overhelp and leave a shooter open. Oh man.
wide, like extremely, and the closeouts too
Like
were just
a
pretty
really
like
good
poor as
shooter
well.
too.
A really
Like
good shooter
almost
too.
every
Yeah.
time.
And that's one thing. Like it's when it comes to defense, defense is obviously important. Defense is what makes you win championships. But what separates a good defense from like an elite one is just knowing your personnel and understanding where you need to be on the floor. When you can really understand those two things as a defense as a whole, you can really get virtually a stop like 70% of the possessions because of the fact that you just know who your personnel is and you know what to do and you know where to be on the floor. Like
Yeah.
those three things are just so key to being an elite defense. And even when you look at us at like 2022 or some bits of 23, like we were able to show that capability of defense because we understood our principles. And those are just some of our roots of just being the team that we are. But to go back to the preseason game, I felt like the defense was definitely something that stuck out to me. Now, offensively, we shot horribly. I think I just checked. We shot like 11 of 48 from three. Again, we're getting up a lot of threes, but the shot quality I actually wasn't mad at all. We were getting a lot of
I agree with that.
we were generating some really good looks from three. Now, for me, I don't mind being a high generated volume 3-point shooting team, but my point of emphasis is you have to be able to get stops on the other end as well. Because if it's going to be a battle of you're shooting threes, yeah, you're 27 to 40 from three, but they're at the line 23 times and they have 42 points in the paint, then at
It's a
some
problem.
point those 3-point
Yeah.
possessions just legit don't matter because
And that
defensively
was
you're
our
not stopping
issue.
them at all.
And
know
that
what I
was
mean?
our issue in 23.
Exactly. So it was
Mhm.
just like in 2023, you were this high octane shooting team, and you had nights where legitimately you were shooting insane from three, like insane, but it didn't matter because of the fact that you couldn't play any defense. But there's signs of this team showing better consistency on that end. I will say that. But yeah, the first game in terms of like players and anything that stuck out to me, Moses Moody looked really good in that first game. He looked really comfortable. Like it was weird in the offseason. I didn't see a lot from him in terms of what to work on. And to be honest, I didn't know what he needed to work on. Probably he didn't know what he needed to work on because of his minutes and his situation. But he just looked comfortable on the floor. And I always said, like, Moses Moody is just a guy you can play. In any given lineup, he'll provide for you shooting, he'll provide defense, he'll provide that connectivity for you. And that's just something that I always seen. B Pot's his aggressiveness. I know Gift has been harping on it all offseason
All off
about
season.
not wanting to shoot the ball and him being extremely passive. And you pointed out his summer league as well, too. It's just a matter of that time where he knows he has to be aggressive. And I think that game he was pretty aggressive, even though he shot the ball pretty poorly. He was aggressive. Like he got the shots that he needed to get off. I like the shots that he got off as well. And even for Steph too, Steph and Draymond, I'm not really evaluating them in the preseason, to be honest, but Steph got some good looks. He just wasn't making them in that first game. It was a good defensive showcase from the Warriors, but offensively it was a shit show. I will say.
Yeah.
And Lindy Waters was like our second best player in like 4 minutes of gameplay, which is insane.
He hit like 5 threes, didn't he?
5 for
He hit
7.
5 threes.
Yeah, bro.
I mean, was it all in one quarter or am I tweaking?
No.
Nah. It was in between the game.
I felt like it was all in one quarter. I don't know, but he was sparking his threes. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was pretty elite. But before we move on into the second game, I wanted to ask you guys this question now. It's gonna be a point of emphasis during the year. We all know Andrew Wiggins not really has been consistent with basketball. A lot of personal things going on. And as of late, his father passed away. Condolences to him and his family as well for that.
Absolutely.
But to go into just back to basketball again, I know it's been a lot for Andrew Wiggins. I'm someone who's always kind of like at least try to defend him in terms of he just away on basketball. When he was locked in, we seen how good he was for us.
Yep.
And for him to not be able to play in the preseason again just sucks because we want to just see him on the floor healthy in these lineups. But he's been getting back on track as well. Steve Kerr was mentioning that he played in a full practice, but he still hasn't been able to play in the preseason yet. So what do you guys like expect from Wiggins this year going into this season?
I don't know. And I think that's what makes this Warriors season so confusing. I think last year was like the worst version of Andrew Wiggins we could have gotten. And I feel like this year we could get a better Andrew Wiggins, right? I think last year he started out his season very like not great. And I feel like with Clay gone, the shots are going to open up for him. To me, Kerr wanting him to take 6 threes a game. I know a lot of people aren't fond of that, but I think that's Kerr really trying to say, hey, Wiggins, your shot diet of these off balance in between shots, we kind of want to limit that and make it more 3-point based and hopefully rim based. I've been saying this for years since the championship run. Andrew Wiggins needs to get back to living in the paint, being more composed in his drives to the basket and then taking more cleaner shots. I think last year he just was a shell of himself in those, I would say, overall areas. And when he's playing with that force, we look like a different team. Absolutely. So to me, him playing at that level is needed, but I can't generally tell you what I expect because I don't know what to expect personally. I wouldn't be surprised if he winds up getting traded this season if he starts off well either. But I don't know what to expect. I can just say I'm rooting for him.
That's fair. That's fair. Denver, what do you expect from him going into this year?
Well, I think that part of last season was just the mental thing of just you know everything that was going on outside. So I feel like and I said this on Twitter like when the news was announced. So I was like, you know, I hope that it's like a transitional phase where like they can like finally like move past it, you know.
Yeah.
And like with the knowledge that like everything that has been plaguing them is over. Obviously you pray for the guy and hope that he um is able to move past that. But I feel like once he is able to do that, it does seem like he is focused on getting back on track. It's just that he is now sick. So
I think Dever makes a really good point too, because prayers up for his family, but it's very hard to play basketball and you don't know the situation of your living person. I think at the very least I'm trying to be as sensitive with this as I can, but the clarity of just knowing that chapter is closed at the very least should make it, in theory, less stressful compared to not knowing. I think not knowing is a lot worse, in my opinion.
It's just the
yeah.
severity of like the issue at hand, right?
Right.
For Wiggins, it was like first injury. He got his groin injury coming off of the championship year, and before that groin injury, I said to myself, and I said it
He looked
publicly,
like the best version of
the
himself.
best
It
version
looked
of
good.
himself. He
Yeah.
looked amazing. Now, if y'all don't remember some of his numbers, I'm telling you, go to 2022, 23, and right before that first injury, just go look at his numbers and what he was putting up. He was looking amazing. He looked like one of the best wing defenders in the NBA. He looked like one of the best catch and shoot players in the NBA. He was thriving at that position. He was playing some of his best basketball of his career. And
he had
then
like 35 in the game
with like 8
before.
threes or something. He
Yeah.
had like 7 or 8 threes against the King, not the Kings, the Rockets. And to go back to Wiggins, it was just like that. Then to go to the groin injury, it's like, okay, just a little step back is fine. Then you come back and it's like you're coming back from injury, so it's like a little bit up and down normally. And then boom, you're just away from basketball because of family reasoning. Okay, go handle your business, come back. You come back not only where the regular season is over, you come back against the best offense in the NBA, having to play one of the most prolific guards in the fastest team
That's a
in the
lot, man.
league without playing basketball for months.
Playoff setting.
You're being tasked to do that.
In
Then
possibly
not
the most hostile playoff setting
no,
that you've
the
ever
most
been
hostile
in.
environment in that season, the most hostile environment in the NBA, in my opinion, was the Kings. Then not only did you do that, you went and had to go play the Los Angeles Lakers and guard playoff LeBron James for 48 minutes. This is you just not playing basketball, then getting thrown into this. Mind you, he did a hell of a job against LeBron James. Broke his rib, went into the summer. Again, this summer in particular, I don't think he trained in basketball at all. I think he was just focused on other things. Other things were a priority. I'm not speculating here. This is just like, well, I am kind of speculating, but this is just like my theory of things. I don't think he was really truly focusing on basketball, and that's okay because life has priorities. That's fine. Then he goes into that season, comes to the training camp out of shape, and just has a poor season again and again, which is away from basketball. And it just, for me, when I was watching Wiggins play, I didn't really feel like his mind was in it. Like, I just didn't think he was really locked in with everything that was going on, and rightfully so. Like, if your dad is someone who is like, if your dad is sick and you need to attend to him, and you know like how serious that situation is, then everyone can really, like, anyone with the same brain can understand how serious a situation like that is, right? And and you have to deal along with that, people already heckling you about your play, and then also the fact that people are spreading rumors about your wife and stuff like that too. So it's just
Dudes in random Burger Kings talking about your wife
Wiggins'
and
wife
shit.
is cheating on him and his kid isn't his, like spewing garbage like that as well. Gifted, your mic is muted. It's like spewing garbage like that too. It just
Wow,
didn't,
bro. Yeah.
it didn't make any sense. So it's like, unfortunately, having someone like your parent like pass away is insane. Like, to be honest with you, luckily I have both my parents in my life. Genuinely, I don't know what my reaction would be if I were to wake up one day and one of them was to pass away. So I don't wish that upon anyone. And again, my condolences to him and his family as well.
For
But to
sure.
be as sensitive as possible, like for the Warriors' sake of things, like it has to feel like a sense of closure to know that you have Wiggins kind of locked back in and ready to play basketball. And I really hope Wiggins is just using this moment as like just a lock in, like use whatever emotion you're feeling to kind of just like be able to play the game that you want to play and get back to the level that you want to get back to, honestly, because it's a lot mentally that he's going through. I'm being honest with you, it's a lot. So you kind of have
It
to
is.
understand that. And shout out to him. So I'm with Wiggins. I want Wiggins to stay Like, I know people talk about his contract and how bad it is, but like truly, I think when he's actually locked and he's willing to play basketball, not willing to, but like is capable and is there mentally, his contract is definitely justified and some. Remember, this is the same guy who took a pay cut when everyone was saying he should have got more money at the time. Now people are saying this is one of the worst contracts in the league. So it's just everything's all about perspective. I swear to you. So to get off of Wiggins though, and shout out to him, we can move on to one of our actual younger wings. And I low-key wanted to talk about him as well. And this is before we'll get into the second game too, but I wanted to talk about him, Jonathan Kuminga. Now we all
I
know
can't wait for this. Yeah.
JA has been on the grind this summer. We've seen the clips. If y'all haven't seen the clips, I've been posting on Twitter. Gifted has seen the clips. Denver has seen the clips. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Not gifted. Sorry, Kuminga's been grinding, bro.
Although I will say, Andre lied to me. He is not 7'2".
Yes,
Yeah.
So.
I was told that he grew to 6'11". So I don't believe everything I see, but I see the clips and I was pretty impressed. I'm not gonna lie. One thing I'll say about Kuminga in his offseason workouts is each summer his jumper continuously gets better. Like
it looks more fluid.
It looks a lot more fluid. I remember when he came into the league, his jump shot looked so raggedy.
It did.
Like so raggedy. It was just
really
like,
raggedy.
It really needed some work. And shout out to his trainers. Like they really got him right with his jumper. And we saw it today. And we'll talk about later's game today, or the game later. I can't speak English. It's crazy. Just move past that. We'll talk about that game later. But what was I saying? Yeah, Kuminga. What do you guys expect from him and like going into this year?
I think Kuminga makes or breaks the season. I'll be real with you. I think based off how the roster is built, Kuminga, based off his talent level and how easily he can score the basketball, I think Kuminga has to be our second best points per game guy. And I think with that role comes a lot of pressure with how he can consistently pick apart defenses and make the right reads, on top of just being a reliable scoring option, right? That's our main thing. Like, how reliable can he be? And I think when you look at it, the shot he seems to be way more confident in. I like the catch and shoots. I like his overall aggression, but he still just has that athletic ability you can't teach. I'm pretty sure in the first game there was a play where he got the rebound, pushed it, and wound up in the same play dunking the ball, right? Like that level of force in space with Steph, Moody, Buddy Hield, Melt, like that type of force is going to mean a whole lot. But that paired with his rebounding and him becoming a better POA on wings and spots can be a big thing for this Warriors team. If he's able to just be like a 20 points per game guy efficiently with the good amount of rim pressure, it opens up so many other opportunities for our team and would help alleviate the pressure to score the basketball outside of Steph Curry on this roster.
I agree. I'm not gonna lie with you. He is really the key that can unlock this offense for sure. And to be honest with you, I'm really more concerned about his defense. Like I remember in his I guess last year would be his third year. Defensively, he was horrible. Like he had his amazing offensive stint, but I thought defensively he was a shit show. I'm not gonna lie.
He was a little ragged. Yeah,
the screen nav was horrible. Off ball wasn't paying attention. He was racking up fouls.
Fouling.
He was fouling. Like
Chat. I will never forget the DeMar DeRozan game
against Chicago, right? Bro, that game.
Yes.
I remember that shot exactly, bro. It was crazy. But like,
yeah,
he needs to be more poised as a defender, and I think he will be. Like the intangibles are there. Him being an athlete, he's quick on his feet. We all know how vertically gifted he is already. Like the tools are there, bro. All you really have to do is just lock in and know your matchup and just become more poised. And with experience comes poise because you'll understand your matchups more. So you just need to play more defense, honestly. Yeah, and I like we all love the effort, but to go back to the offense gifted, I do think like he is someone that's gonna really have to unlock this team. Now that is a burden because unfortunately, I feel like the Warriors youngsters have been put into a position where they have to put up numbers that are just like not really realistic for people that are in their second and fourth year. You know what I mean? Like Moses Moody, Kuminga, and
especially in the specific situation where they've been. I feel like if we had been actually playing them and developing them, it would have been like not as tall of a task.
Asset mismanagement, Denver.
Yeah, but the fact that we literally they played playoff minutes against the Kings and then start off the season not playing at all. And now we're asking Kuminga for so much, and Moses Moody for so much. It's just it doesn't really make much sense.
It's a bit stressful. I will say that for sure. It's like
it's just a lot.
Yeah,
it's a big.
The worst
change.
part is TJD. We were screaming at Steve Kerr to start for like ages, and then he does it, and we have some of our best basketball. B-Pause, we were saying he should start. He should get more PT.
Start. Moses
and then
Moody.
He started playing better.
God,
Kuminga should get more minutes.
Moses Moody fans in Chase Arena were chanting
Moses
Moody's name just to get him in the game.
Like it's crazy how the younger I can't speak English today, bro. What is going on with me, gang? I'm actually about to crash out. Oh my god.
It's literally 1 a.m., so I get it.
Nah, I legit am like tweaking out of my mind right now, bro. It's crazy though that like the youngsters have been like hold the way they've been hold, man. It's actually insane. I'm not gonna lie to you. But nah, to go back to Kuminga real quick in his offense, I do think there's some things I do want to point out. One, I don't want a point of emphasis for him to be only shooting threes. Like today, we saw how well he shot from three, and I know that's a good thing. But him and Wiggins, I just want it to be a point of emphasis where that paint is just yours. Like you're getting in those lanes and you're finishing over people. Like I want you to bring that aspect of offense where, like, yes, we're a team that can shoot threes. Yes, we could get up the floor. But when we're in this half court, we are downhill threats. We're going to get downhill. We're going to be able to finish with contact. Like, obviously, not every team is going to be perfect offensively, and this team isn't going to be perfect offensively. But if everyone can bring a piece of something that can help and connect other people, that's how just offenses flow. Like, we understand how Steph brings his offense. Movement threes, high pick and rolls, off ball drawing, two on ball. We know how he works. Draymond, the short roll, him setting screens for Steph, the inverted pick and roll, his DHOs. Like, we know how Draymond works in transition. Kevon Looney, same thing, short roll passer, good screen setter. You know what I mean? Like, he does those things for you, closes out possessions, and then immediately throws outlet passes, stuff like that. Like, those are things that people bring to the team that you need to bring. Kuminga, I want you to bring self-creation in the pick and roll. I want you to be able to slash. I want you to be able to be off ball, be a good cutter. Those things you already are. You are establishing the shooting. This is great, but I want you to be able to get downhill. You are an insane athlete who a lot of people actually just can't stay in front of. Like, if you've been watching Kuminga, especially out of the post, the mid post, he can get to his spot, like in the paint, seamlessly. Like, it's insane. I remember when Jamal Murray was guarding him in Denver, there was possessions where he was legit just calling his number and going,
babying
give
him
me
out
space.
the way. Yeah.
I'm getting to this basket and I'm putting him in the rim. And he just did it constantly, like over and over and over again. And I'm just like, bro, this is amazing. Cause like we need possessions like this where we can dump someone the ball, just let them work. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's very important to me. As much as the 3-point shooting is important, that's more of an aspect to me that's just like, I really want you to hone in on, because we're going to need a balance of scoring. You know what I mean?
And I feel like that aspect will also open up just because we have so much shooting around guys like Kuminga now.
We do for sure.
And so I feel like that's like even better for him specifically.
It is. It depends on the lineup too. Like,
if
you run those lineups for Kumingas with Kyle Anderson and Kevon Looney, then it's like you're cooked. Like,
I do not want to see those lineups.
Like, bro, those lineups, chat, are some wicked lineups, bro. It's crazy how wicked those lineups are, man. I'm not gonna hold you, but yeah, Kuminga, those are our expectations for him. Who is another player that we're missing right now? Did we speak about B-Pods? We haven't spoken about B-Pods.
We kind of did, but not in depth. What?
We didn't speak about B-Pods. We talked about his game against the Clippers, but we didn't really speak about him in terms of what to expect from him. Now B-Pods, this is another player where it's kind of annoying because I rock with B-Pods. People know how much I like B-Pods. You can call me B-Pod Stan for all I care. I'm standing because that's my guy, right? But he's been put in a position where it's just been kind of unfair. Now, everyone knows the Golden State Warriors were apparently huge on the apparently trying to move for big pieces in the market and apparently couldn't get any pieces at all. So, but they were apparently very happy with some of their youngsters that they have on their team. And one of them was B-Pods. And with B-Pods, he was getting extremely high praise. It was like the front office was saying he's a keeper. The front office was saying you're untouchable. And this is after his rookie campaign. Now, I will say his rookie campaign was impressive for sure. He's definitely one of those players where you look at, he's a valuable player. And we've seen it today, and we'll talk about it in a bit. But
I just,
it's crazy the kind of position he's just been put in as a player. Like, you're going into your second year, and you're being asked to shoot 8 to 10 threes a game and man a second unit. And then not only that, you have, I'm not saying us, but and not to you guys or anyone who's watching this. If you don't apply, you know what I mean. You have the pitchfork and knife and fire stick Warriors fans just waiting on him to have a 5-game bad stretch so they can slander the absolute shit out of him. Which again, I can understand to a
doesn't
degree.
even have to do anything basketball related for them to slander him.
And the worst part is, it's not even like you're mad at the wrong person. You should have that energy for the front office who didn't want to trade for Lauri Markkanen or like Zach LaVine or whoever you wanted because they were unwilling to give up someone like B-Pods.
A lot of it, by the way, KB, is fans of the team who were Clay stands and seeing B-Pods like change his role more and take his spot. To like, oh, for him who's small, who so.
And again, I'm not gonna lie to you. I was one of the people who was saying B-Pods provides more on a basketball court than Klay Thompson, and to this day, I still stand by it. I'm not gonna lie to you. As much as I love Klay, I think he's a Warrior legend. Jersey deserves to be retired. A statue needs to be made. Like, he deserves all of those things and more. I think as of today, I think B-Pods just provides more on a basketball court, especially because of his defensive value. And we just saw the kind of playmaking and passing he just put on today as well too. Provided that he will shoot the ball, at a normal rate, which is like 37-38%, while being just a better ball handler in the pick and roll, as well as being able to close out and attack spaces more. I just think he provides more than an older Klay Thompson. So no disrespect to Klay. I think Klay in his prime was one of the best two-way players in the league, one of the best shooters I've ever seen in my lifetime. But I just think it's just the age and situation. That's all it really was. But with B-Pods, it's like there's that side. There's the side of, well, if he doesn't do well, this is what's about to happen to him. Now, let's talk about the positive side real quick. Because in the Summer League, he was playing some amazing basketball. I don't know if you guys were watching, but in my opinion, he was one of the best Summer League players. He was dominating on all cylinders, getting his
by far and away, yeah.
He was cooking. So, like, if you were to see that version of B-Pods alongside someone like Steph, like, how far do you think this team can really be? Like, what do you think their ceiling is? Like, what do you think? How serious can they actually be with someone like that beside him?
So I'm going to focus on what KB said, because, again, he's talking about the Summer League version of B-Pods. If we have the Summer League version of B-Pods, we're a top 4 seed in the Western Conference. Like, I'm not gassing you when I say that, because B-Pods was literally doing everything. He was rebounding. He was also shooting the ball very well from 3. Like, his floor game, more times than not, is going to be very, very solid. The question we always have is his shot aggression going to be there enough? A part of why I like the idea of having Milton start over B-Pods is his value can really shine in the non-Steph minutes due to his passing and his shooting ability, right? When all those things come together for B-Pods, he gives you a ton of value. But specifically, the Summer League version of B-Pods, like, oh, yeah, no. If we had him with Andrew Wick, like, he could damn near be the secondary guy to score the ball. But again, very limited sample size, obviously. But that's how good I think he played in the Summer League. Do I put stock in that? Not necessarily. So my expectations for B-Pods, I would say, KB, I want him to not attempt 12 threes a game. That would be great, but I don't think this shit is realistic. I want to see 12 or 13 shots a game from him. Average 12 or 13 shots a game. Take maybe 5 or 6 threes a game. That's good enough, in my opinion. If he does that every single night with good passing, with understanding where to be, with still being in the top 5 in charges per game, I'm good with B-Pods.
Top 5 in charges is hilarious. I forgot he was he not league leader in charges?
Yeah, he led
the league in charges, yeah.
He was putting his body on the line for us, man. Shout out to B-Pods. I'm not gonna lie. Now, Summer League B-Pods is a stretch because he was averaging like 21, 8, and like 7. It was
he was hooping. That's what I'm saying.
Crazy in the Summer League. So that is really a high floor. So I do apologize for that, like, extreme of a question. But I'm basically saying the version of B-Pods that you're looking for is someone who's more aggressive as a scorer, but still provides some of those same values that he did in his rookie campaign, which was the playmaking, the passing. And one thing I'll say about B-Pods that is like a negative for him now, but can be really like a good thing, is that he can play within the flow of the offense. Like, we noticed today that his shot wasn't obviously going. He only made 1 basket, only took 4, but he shot like 1 of 4, 1 of 5, or something like that. I forget. Or he made 2, sorry. But he didn't take that many shots. But he noticed that the team was just clicking on all cylinders in terms of just being able to create space and shoot the ball.
3
You know
for
what I
8.
mean? So he was just whipping passes. Like he was coming off of the high screen and roll off his left hand, seeing Moody far right corner, weak side, dipping into him. He was doing the same thing on the other side where Moody was there again in the other side of the corner, and he just swung it to him as well. His passing display was just elite today, in my opinion.
Yeah, he was
And
3 for 8 with 8 assists, 2 steals.
yeah, he was cooking today in terms of his floor game. I'm not gonna lie.
And
And
I will say his decision making definitely seems like faster. There were definitely like noticeable plays where he would get a pass and he already knew like what he was gonna do. Like he would get a pass and then dump it into the post with TJD. Like no time wasted at all. Or like you were saying, coming off the pick and roll and just instantly knowing where the help is coming from, whipping a pass. He had a couple like cross court just dimes coming off pick and rolls.
he was cooking.
I do feel like it may be the leadership of Chris Paul last season.
I was waiting for you to say that. I was waiting for you to bring up his leadership.
Are you
unironically
Gifted won the war of Chris Paul's leadership?
Like unironically though, because it definitely seems like he was he definitely took some of that with him in terms of like being able to see the floor, map the floor, and so yeah, I feel like that is definitely like one of the biggest improvements that I've seen. Is just his processing time.
His
and,
processing is definitely something that, but I always felt like with him in his first year, I think he was just afraid to shoot, but he kind of understood where people were on the floor. Like I noticed, like
he was
as
afraid of fucking up.
Yeah, exactly. He was afraid of fucking him, but like now he's getting comfortable. It's like, okay, I know where Moody's gonna be placed in this corner here. I know they're gonna tag off of this roll because TJD's rolling hard and he got clipped off the ball screen. So I'm about to just swing this pass quick, and then Moody gets wide open 3. And the same thing happens where we're gonna flip the ball screen. I'm gonna go downhill. I'm gonna swing the ball left corner. It's gonna be an open 3 and 1-3. Like those things are just happening seamlessly for him. And I will say one thing that I am kind of scared about, and Gifted pointed to this in the game as well, is the self-creation in like those 7 to 9 seconds where like the possession's dead, but can you just get me a bucket? Like, can you just go take your man on one-on-one, make a tough shot real quick? And those are things you're just gonna have to get better at over time. Again, we're talking about a guy who's in his second year. This is like he's not in his 4th or 5th season. He's just in his second year, by the way. And we just need him to get better on spots like that, where it's just like 8 to 7 seconds left on the floor. Can you make a play? And early in the shot clock, like today, we're showing the clips right now. He was just on the money with all of his passes, like being able to make the right read at the right time, right there. Draymond, boom, easy layup. Kevon Looney, right in the mid-range shot as well. So he was just constantly moving the ball, constantly getting the ball into the right spots as well. So yeah, shout out to B-Pods. I do think his pull-up shooting numbers from last year were a good indicator. I always looked at his college shooting like he can be someone to get off his shots. But nah, I do want him to take more shots, but I need him to provide some of this as well. And to give to your point about because I know you mentioned this earlier about Melton and how you want to see him start with Steph as well. Like, look at that pass, bro. That is crazy.
His passing is just very good, man. It is.
That's an insane pass, bro. Look at this. Another one right here. That's another good pass. I ain't gonna lie. Kuminga's jumper looks so smooth.
Oh, I think something else, KB, with Melton that I didn't highlight enough in game 1. The facilitation in spots when Curry was off the ball was pretty good. And like the moment I knew, okay, Melton might be a better shooter than I thought he was, is when he got a deflection, they got the ball back, then he forced another turnover.
Can you go back? Can you go back? Play that last clip again. Sorry. Go give the continue.
Yeah.
I just want to show something when you're done.
Yeah. Right. Basically, Melton gets a deflection, makes a 3, gets another deflection, saves the possession, passes to Steph. Steph passes right back, and he shoots a 3, no hesitation. For me, it's the type of threes, right? I thought that he was a guy that was more downhill that could shoot, but the fact that he's not having any hesitation. He's so confident. Those are the types of shooters you're going to have to respect. And that changes the entire floor if he's that. Because I think he's still probably our best two-way guard option on this roster in totality, which can add a lot of value for us. You know,
I agree with that too. And Gifted, if you could not Gifted, sorry, Denver, if you could pull back up that clip again, like I just want to show the passing before we actually talk about Melton. This is going to tie back to B pods too, because I want to talk about the lineup real quick before we get into today's game against the Kings.
Right.
That pass, like the processing part, like understanding placement and like reading the game. He's seen that weak side man is tagging. Like he's not even tagging. He's just like in the middle, like in no man's land kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And to be able to make that pass, if we could just go back like a few seconds, yeah, it's right here. Like where he comes off this ball screen right here, and he sees that he's tagging, so he immediately just hits it right on the money, right to Moses Moody's pocket, like, and he just gets it off clean look and one. Like that was just a ridiculous pass, and he did that in the same corner to Moody both times. So shout out to B-Pods, man. His processing looks really, really good. Like I said, I'm a fan of B-Pods. I think he's really good. I do understand how like valuable he can be. And
Yeah.
if the Warriors can prove people wrong about this Lauri Markkanen and B-Pods thing, they can make a lot of people look really dumb, including myself. So, but to go to DeAnthony Melton, actually, I still want B-Pods starting, and I'll tell you like this.
Okay.
So with Steph, we've seen how Steph played today. Obviously, there were some aspects that were a bit funny, like he hit the side of the backboard on a three today, which is pretty bad. He got his shit boxed by Keegan Murray as well. It was a weird Steph performance, but he still put up a couple points. You know what I'm saying? Like quick little 13. He looked pretty good on the floor as well. But
like shots like that.
Yeah, shots like that are really,
huge.
really are really good. But what was I saying? Sorry. So with B pods, it's like
Steph hitting the side of the backboard.
No. I want to talk about B pods for a second. With B pods alongside Steph, I feel like it provides like the Jordan Poole Steph like dynamic in terms of I could play on ball, you could play off ball, and I could play off ball, you could play on ball kind of thing where it can flip flop. And I think that dynamic with Steph really works because there's gonna be times where Steph's gonna be like, all right, give me the ball, it's time for me to work. I need to get this bucket. But there's also gonna be times where B pods, you do you, I'm gonna run these off ball actions so then that way our offense starts to flow. Then it could be a thing where he does that for a little bit, like early stint. Then he gets substitute for Melton. Melton comes on. He does this thing with Steph, more defensively oriented. Let's push out. Let's get pace in there. We still have some of the shooting as well, but Steph, you're a little bit more on ball. Then you plug back in B-Pods subbing up for Steph, and now B-Pods is your main ball handler. And DeAnthony Melton's playing off of that. He's playing the closeout guy. And they can flip-flop because both of them are ball handlers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that role is much better in terms of you still play B-Pods because he's a better offensive player than DeAnthony Melton, in my opinion. Even though he is less of a defender than what Melton is, I still think he provides some level of defense as well. Depending on how Wiggins looks, he still plays within the gaps pretty well too, like playing lanes, obviously charges and stuff like that. And you can still sub him out early and bring on Melton for that defensive value and then have them both paired in the second unit as well. You know what I mean? Or even if you want to, you can still plug in someone like Moody as well too. So like with the guard option in the situation, you have a lot of options. You have a lot of different combinations, which is why, again, like it questions to me, like guys like GP2, guys like Moody, like how are their minutes going to fluctuate with someone like on this team? Like we just saw Lindy Waters against Utah Jazz put up 15. He played solid in the few minutes that he played against the Kings today too. So it's like, is he going to get burned as well? Like you got a lot of good shooters and like capable players on this team as well. So, but we've been talking about a lot about like what to expect. We could talk about the second game. So we pretty much alluded to it the entire time while talking about this because we've been using it as like a sample. But we played the Kings today. You know what I'm saying? And
always a competitive game with the Kings, man. Always.
When I say it was a shot fest, it was a shot fest. Chat. Let me pull it up real quick. An absolute onslaught. 122 to 112. The Warriors win. We're currently 2-0. Now, you can fact check me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure the Warriors, when we won the title, went undefeated in the preseason.
Yeah.
I'm just chat. We won a title every time Kendrick Lamar dropped an album. We won a title when we went, and we haven't lost in the preseason. I'm not saying we're a championship contending team. I'm just saying the probability is moving that way. Hashtag I'm innocent. Anyways, Before we continue, let me just pull up these numbers real quick. All right, so boom, 122 to 112. By the way, we hit our most threes as a franchise ever in a preseason game. I just want to let y'all know that. Our record was 27.
In a game period.
Our record was 27,
Yeah.
and we hit 28. We hit 28. I'm just saying, bro. That's kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Jonathan Kuminga, 6 of 11, 4 of 7 from 3, which is crazy. That is so crazy.
Yeah, 4 threes. Yep.
Nah, stuff. You know what's crazy? It's the 7 attempts that is insane to me.
Yeah.
That's what's crazy. Draymond Green, 2 of 3 from 3. Steph, 3 of 6. He had 13. B Pods, 3 of 8, 2 of 4 with 8 assists as well. 8 and 8. TJD, 2 of 3. He played solid as well. Buddy Hield was the star of the night. He was 8 of 9 with 20. Am I tweaking? Does that say 30? No, I say plus 13. Sorry. Yeah, 22 points.
Yes, sir.
DeAnthony Melton as well. 16 points, 6 of 12 shooting. It was just an onslaught. Moses Moody, 2 of 6 from 3. Again, I don't even mind it. Provided good defense, solid minutes as well.
Yeah, 2
Lindy
blocks.
Waters, again, Waters, bro. A plus 4 and 9 points, 3 of 5 from 3. He's been coming. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, 2 blocks. Oh, my goodness.
Steve Kerr might fall in love with Lindy Waters. I'm going to be honest.
And
I said
I'm actually okay with that. Yeah, I don't mind that because it's not Corey Joseph. Like, I'm actually fine with him saying, "Oh, Lindy, I got to play someone who's 6'6". Sure,
no, but
sure, go for it.
Though. Yeah, but what about Moody?
I mean, listen, I think Moody should chart regardless. Personally, I would like for him to play. I think he adds value, but I'm just saying if he's to neglect Moses Moody, neglect it for size and shooting, I'm cool with that. Do that. Not for 5'10" Corey Joseph, who's a bad offensive player, who's not in the NBA anymore.
I'm not gonna lie though. The problem with this is like GP2. He might have to start playing like 10 minutes a night or like
GP's minutes might be a little.
Because bro, everyone here provides some level of defense with better like offense than you. You're just like you're so good defensively, but offensively, like you're not inept. It's just you're a non-spacer who people don't take serious. And it's like, I'd rather play Moses Moody than you. I'm not going to lie to you. As much as I do think you're a better defender than Moses Moody,
I can agree with that.
You're not a better offensive player. So it's just like, it's a bit of a sticky situation. I'm not going to
the main thing with him, too, is like he gets injured a lot during the season as well.
He does get injured a lot during the season, too. Now, like, I need everyone to be healthy. But it's just, I don't know. It's just really, like, strange as well. But to talk about this game more, 28 3-pointers made for the Warriors. Like I said, a franchise high for most 3-pointers in a game out of any game, I guess, apparently, because this was a preseason game that didn't count. But we were sparking today, chat. We were sparking today on all cylinders. It was insane work. To talk about some of the threes that were generated on the screen as well, I felt like the quality was really, really good. I felt like we were generating shots that were very solid, and it didn't really take a lot of like crazy type of like insane ball movement to generate these looks. I think they were pretty simple actions and they were generating quality threes for us every single time down the stretch. Now, I will say there will be nights where we shoot these many attempts, but it'll be ugly, where they're like 15 of like 48. Yeah. And I really want to know like how those nights are going to be, because when you're a high octane 3-point shooting team, it's going to be very tough to like maintain the numbers that you want to maintain, right?
And those are like the Andrew Wiggins nights. Those are the B-Pods nights, right? Those have to be the nights where our other guys step up to give us that production when we're not making threes.
Exactly. And it's just like,
and also like usually, and I feel like that's the reason why we were so good in 22. Even when we weren't hitting threes like that, we always had our defense to fall back on, especially in that season.
Exactly.
And so if they're focusing more defensively, in theory this season, then we should have a much better time being able to withstand shooting nights like that.
And that's why I like Kerr's idea of getting up a lot of threes, because again, if they're focusing on a defensive tilt and we're going to shoot a lot of threes, you give yourself a chance to win the night-to-night math battle. You just do, especially when you have the best shooter in the league on volume.
You do. And again, to go back to the quality part, it's it was just good quality shots, like all
Yeah,
over the floor. That was
it
just
was
like
good shot quality. Yeah,
I liked all the shots that were being taken. I liked how in rhythm they were, just like Kaminga right there, just coming off, catching and shooting the ball.
Like, there's
Don't even
no
hesitate, just
hesitation.
shoot.
Yeah.
Like just shoot the ball. And that was just what made it like really good. And then when
see,
you
look right there, look right there. You see that the way, like, there's no wind up. He is so ready to shoot the ball. Like, I like how he looks like he's foaming at the mouth to shoot the ball. That's a
No, I
different
do. I
level
really
of
do like that as well.
shot. You
Like
know,
when you are a confident shooter, it's just something that really elevates your team in general. And
it
like
does.
when you see like stuff like this, and when shots like that start to fall in, that's when your offense starts to really click. When everyone is shooting the ball like this, it can get really scary for any team. You have guys coming off of pull-ups and just knocking down threes at a high clip. So
Yeah.
the Warriors are really clicking today on all cylinders offensively, and it's something to see and a point of interest for the
Oh
Warriors
man,
going forward as well.
when Looney starts hitting these threes,
Oh
Oh
God.
man, that's going to be crazy. I'm not gonna lie. That's gonna be insane, bro. Like, look at some of these shots. Oh my goodness. Buddy Hill was on one today. My God, bro.
Yeah,
This is
Buddy Hill
crazy.
look great.
I'm gonna go back and rewatch for this game, but to
like, look, before that pass even happened, look, Buddy's calling for the ball right here.
Yeah.
that's crazy. What a pass though. Oh my goodness. What a pass, man. My God. But to just not wrap things up, sorry, to kind of ask all this question because our next game, if I'm not mistaken, is actually the Kings again on Friday.
Yeah,
We play the Kings again on Friday.
yeah.
Yep.
I think it's at home this time.
So what do you guys expect going into that game, just in general?
Well, I hope Andrew Wiggins plays that game because we do need to see how he fits
Yeah, I
in with
hope
this
Andrew
team.
Wiggins plays this game. I hope that the Stars at least plays somewhat into the third quarter.
I think they will.
I think
Yeah.
these
In
are
this
like
game.
the back end of the preseason games. Usually, like we saw it today, the second unit actually got some burn in the third quarter.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
this next game, you're going to start to see like an uptick. Like Steph's going to play 25, 26 minutes. Draymond's going to play a little bit more minutes, and it's just going to slowly like tick up. And then the last preseason game is probably going to be like actual minutes with at
The
least some of the
dress
set guys.
rehearsal, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, but and to go back to the question of like, what do you guys expect? I'm a bit conflicted because we just had an insanely 3-point shooting game.
Mm-hmm.
So is it like gonna be shot variance where you get the same quality of shots, but you only make 10 of them?
Nah, man, that's what we're gonna do every night.
That's the thing about being a high volume 3-point shooting team. It's just like it's scary, bro, because it's really a numbers game. As much
Yeah.
as you are like capable 3-point shooters, and you all are, if you're just
Yeah.
not hitting shots, it can look really ugly. Like
Like
Yeah.
I
It's
definitely
like,
agree with that, but again, like that's why for me, like I'm kind of campaigning for the Melton piece because we still haven't seen his team fully unlocked with Andrew Wiggins defensively, and I just like the defensive combination to start out games with Melton, Draymond, Andrew Wiggins, and then maybe a big at times. Like I think that could have value because like the main thing is all of the three stuff, right? That doesn't work if your defense isn't elite, right? So their goal is to have more of a defensive tilt. I don't think we've seen them at their best defensively yet. And I think you're gonna see that evolve as we transition from game to game.
Yeah, I feel like it is somewhat different because I feel like, like we have been talking about, they are focusing pretty heavily on defense and improving on defense this year.
Yeah.
And having that to fall back on. I feel like they are gonna have like some semblance of like an inside game in terms of like a game, like shots in the paint that are gonna be opened up from their ability to shoot threes, which is something that they've been relying on for however many years at this point. That's how they've been getting a lot of their shots in the paint. But that you need to have something like that,
That's
or
true.
like those two things to fall back on before you end up with before you end up with this you know
okay.
That's hilarious, man.
All right, I see what we're doing here. Okay.
I mean,
All right, man. Listen,
am I wrong though?
no, you're not wrong. That's the sad part. But listen, right? Going into this game, I do want to see an uptick in minutes for sure. This is a message to Steph. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think you have anything left to prove. You had a long career, obviously. You accomplished a lot of things that many people say they can't accomplish. Peaked higher than probably 96% of the league's history. You don't have that much left to prove. You feel me?
Yeah.
But I do feel like there's a chip on your shoulder. There's a lot of doubters, man. There's a lot of people who don't think you top 10. There's a lot of people who don't think you are a capable player that you once were. And you got to prove these guys wrong. As much as this team isn't really the best in your ability, you just got to hoop.
Yeah.
You just got to hoop. And I'm not really one to promote selfish basketball. But if that means you got to get your 28 and 6 on 64, 65 true shooting and your team be some dog water, I'll put my hands up, bro.
I'm going to be honest with you, KB. I'm not even on the whole selfish tip, but this like fake off-ball shit you be doing 1 through 3 quarters and then you get all your points in the fourth, tone that shit down this season,
But
bro.
I think, you know what's crazy? I think last year he had to do that because, one, our offense was actually horrible, and two, we employed Chris Paul, who couldn't function without the basketball.
Like, and that's why to me this year he should have way more freedom to not do that.
Ball that looked like the back of his head, like he needed that to function. You know what I mean? So it's just like we employed that. So you had to like get off ball for him. So I understand that. But this year, no. We're not getting off ball for niggas like D-Pods. We're not getting off ball for people like Kaminga. We are not getting off ball for people like Andrew Wiggins, and we are damn well not getting off ball for someone like GP2.
He's actually getting off ball for a lot of those players.
Oh,
like
so are you prepared to make the bet again?
I will be no longer participating in any bets.
He out the game.
I will no longer be participating in any bets. But yeah, no, I can't because I like tweeting. I like ranting. You know what I'm saying? And in Steph, we do trust, but I don't trust him. It's weird. I trust him to do the job. I don't trust him though, because it's just like, bro, I'm so sick and tired of me just watching you constantly night in and night out, just sit in the corner like this. Yeah. Let me go set this off ball real quick. Like, bro, it's just so annoying, bro. Like, it's just very annoying. I need him to get the ball and go to work. And it's just like, I get it. He's old. He's not as fast as he once was. Fuck all that, though. Just go get a bucket. I don't care how you get it. I don't. I truly don't. If you're putting up your 24, 28 a game, yeah, I'm cool with that, bro.
We've seen you shoot over 2 7-footers.
Bro, we watched him in the Olympics just put on a shot-making onslaught, bro.
Like, that was still one of the craziest. Like
that's what really gave me. That's what really put like a hope back in my spine, bro. Like
yeah, he was frying.
Like
bro.
I was losing a bit of faith because of those 20 games in February. I'm just like, and I kept constantly hearing he's washed, and I'm just like, bro, like I'm not trying to hear this. But then what happened in Paris happened in Paris, and then you know what I'm saying, hashtag #NuWeep. And we back, bro. You feel me? We back. But I don't know, man. I just need him to be aggressive this year. Like I can't play I can't watch another 8 minutes of Steph in the first quarter and just watch him shoot 4 shots or 3 shots. And they're all like not actual, like we're running Steph a set or Steph, go get yourself a bucket. Yeah. It's like random end of the shot clock, Steph. I'm gonna put up this mark 3 in the middle of it's just like it's random as hell, bro. I don't know. I don't really rock with that, but yeah, that's the message to Steph, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. Well, so what else am I missing, man? I don't think there's really any other talking points that we have.
I think that's really it, to be honest.
That's really much it. With that being said, man, that's any last few points before we wrap up this pod?
Yeah. Make sure to tap in to Goldblooded. The playback logo, I believe, should be at either the top right or the top left on this video. We're going to have a lot of content coming for y'all in terms of podcast stuff, clips, moments, all those things. We're going to be going a lot harder on both ends on the YouTube side and also the Twitter side. Our Twitter is popping up. We just hit, I think, 178 followers. I could be wrong about that, but almost to 200. Get that up to 200. And yeah, man, it's going to be a fun season. Make sure to tap in with us.
Yeah, that's a fact. You know what I'm saying? I was going to do the New York accent, but I'm very tired. Denver, any last words? Yeah, that both ends comment was crazy.
No.
Okay. Yeah, a man, a few words. I always say, man. Shout out to Denver, but Yeah, chat. What gift is it? Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Turn on the post notifications so you'll be notified when we upload. And I always say this: you may be wondering, first of all, if you made it to the end of this video, comment bonnet if you made it to the end of this video. But
Bonnet.
anyways,
I like that. I like that pick.
like I was saying, if you are wondering where do we record these amazing live podcasts, we have a beautiful chat with us. You know, some are asking for me to show my hair. I don't know why. Playback.tv/Goldblooded. Those are the live podcasts where you can find us. Not only where you can find us for that, you know what I'm saying? You can find us for that in NBA games and live events. You've seen the trivia night. You've seen what happened during that day. Where did that happen? It happened on Playback too. So any events that be happening there, you feel me? Like you can pull up, rock out with us. You know what I'm saying? You're more than welcome. Even if you don't got league pass or anything like that, we might hit you with a little VIP for the night. You feel me? So just pull up and have a good time. Like it's a great place to just come and watch basketball in a community of people just watching it with you almost. You know what I mean? So yeah, but make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow the Twitter as well if you haven't already. That's where all the updates will be as well. We will update on the community post about like future uploads if we're going live there. But for any actual updates or just game clips that are happening in live in real time, will be happening on the Gold-Blooded Twitter. Like I said, link is in the description. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications if you haven't already. I've been KB. With my guys Gifted in Denver as well. Shout out to chat for pulling up. In first episodes, we back, baby. We finna be back there in the regular season. You can catch us weekly. But until next time, it's been us, and we out, man. Peace out.